When injustice becomes law, resistance becomes duty. This powerful statement by Thomas Jefferson perfectly captured the spirit of the biggest uprising in Thailand's history. Allow me to take you back to the 1st of November 2013. At an unusually late 4 a.m. session, the Thai government pushed a blanket amnesty bill through the lower house of parliament. This bill sought to pardon anyone facing charges arising from the entirety of Thailand's political conflict from 2004 to 2010. While this may sound good on paper for the purposes of reconciliation, the fine details reveal something far more horrifying. If it had passed through the Senate, this particular amnesty bill would have exonerated many top politicians from corruption and criminal charges, dismissed pending court cases, and overturned court rulings on cases in connection with the conflict. For many, the passing of this bill was the final straw. It is one thing when the government uses populist policy to gain an electoral base, ruining the economy in the process. But it is entirely another when they attempt to legalize corruption. Now, let that sink in. Legalize corruption. In many countries around the world, the younger population become disillusioned with politics because of the amount of corruption, cronyism, and dishonesty in the system. However, in those cases, there was at least a chance that those who dared to commit such a crime would be rightly punished. When even that due process of the law is taken away, we know that it is time to stand up against this massive abuse of power. It was an extremely difficult task to embark on when more than 60% of the population still believes that corruption is acceptable as long as they too benefit from it. Anyone who challenges this notion is intimidated into silence. As a young Thai, I cannot just stand by and watch corruption become a national culture. So I joined the uprisings against the bill in an effort to inform the masses of the damaging effects of corruption and the true meaning of democracy. However, our movement was met with threat and violence. I spoke on 4 separate occasions in front of live audiences of over 100,000 people. Afterwards, people who disagreed with my views threatened to attack or even rape me if they ever saw me in the street. During the course of our 7-month-long peaceful protests, weapons of war, M16, M79 were used on the protesters. Our protest sites were attacked daily. 28 men, women, and children died. 834 others were injured. The criminals were never brought to justice. Now, they thought fear would make us back down. They were wrong. The more violence they used against us, the more our numbers swell, from hundreds to thousands, and from thousands to millions. Certain things were clear. This new generation of Thai are a lot more vigilant, a lot more politically aware, and a lot more politically involved. The heart of democracy lies in people's participation, and this uprising has achieved that and much more. Our protest came to an end when the military stepped in to maintain order. Like always, the international community were quick in their condemnation of the coup. But they overlooked how Thailand was grinding to a halt under the weight of all the civil protests. If the military had not intervened, further bloodshed would have been inevitable. We realized that the need for the military to step in is far from perfect. But the political system was failing. Something had to be done. There are still many issues we have to overcome as a nation, but we are determined to use this opportunity to reform our democracy once and for all. Finally, One Young World is coming to Bangkok next year, and I would like to invite all of you to come see for yourself a whole other side of Thailand that is dynamic and rich in culture. The Land of Smiles may be in the process of defining our democracy, but we are also ready to host this event, which has helped change the world for the better. So come along to the summit next year, and together we can help create a truly unified world that is both progressive and compassionate. Thank you.